What's going on, Packers fans? Aaron Nagler here with Cheesehead TV. Some breaking news on Monday morning, the day before the mandatory minicamp in Green Bay. According to NFL Network and various other outlets, the Packers plan on releasing cornerback Jaire Alexander. You know, if I was any good at this content creation stuff, I would have had this video already made, because you guys know, if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, I've been saying for months that most likely outcome still, despite every headline, despite every indication that maybe there was a thawing or a reconciliation, most likely outcome was always that the Packers were going to release Jaire Alexander, and now it has come to pass. And I get it, man. I understand the frustrations from the fan base. The Packers are a better team with Jaire Alexander on the field. No one's disputing that. But he can't stay on the field. We all know he hasn't played half the games the last 2 seasons, has missed a ton of time since signing that extension 4 years ago. I know that there are lots of things going on behind the scenes that we are not privy to. I've only heard kind of secondhand about certain things, and I haven't heard near all of it. But certainly the frustrations with the coaching staff and the player are the driving force here. I don't doubt for a moment that Brian Gutekunst, the personnel folks, would have liked to have found a way to keep Jaire Alexander in the fold, but I don't think they wanted to pay the contract. Obviously, they didn't want to pay the salary this year. We know, thanks to Matt Schneidman, they offered an adjustment to his contract last week. Clearly, Jaire Alexander and his representatives were not interested in any of that. They know they can get a better deal out on the market. And that is going to be interesting to track, to see where Jaire Alexander ends up, hopefully somewhere in the AFC. I'm dreading the fact that he could be talking to teams like the Minnesota Vikings, the Detroit Lions, the Chicago Bears. Don't even want to think about that. But I do know Jordan Schultz earlier this morning reported that the Bills had shown interest and were in discussions with the Packers about a potential trade for Jaire Alexander. Would absolutely love if Jaire Alexander ended up in Buffalo. We'll see how that materializes here over the course of the next week, month, what have you. As far as the Packers go, I've seen a lot of hand wringing already this morning about their cornerback group, and there's no depth and there's no talent. And man, I understand that you have seen Keyshawn Nixon give up a play here or there, but the collective memory is crazy to me. This is a top 10 defense in the back half of last year when Jaire Alexander didn't play that has added Nate Hobbs and subtracted Eric Stokes. This is going to be a good defense. Now, will it be great? Will it be a championship level defense? That is what we're going to find out, right? I understand that there's a need for a better pass rush, and hopefully that mitigates some of the issues with the depth in the secondary. But a lot of that will continue to percolate both in camp and then maybe, yes, outside, looking at possible additions. They do open up a bunch of cap space here in 2025, allows them to possibly swing a trade, maybe for a big name, maybe for someone we're not thinking about. Who knows? But as Brian always says, the work of the personnel group, it's 365. They're always looking, they're always planning. And that's the other thing. There's no way we've gotten to this point on June 9th and the Packers don't have a plan for what they want to do in the post Jaire Alexander era. So I'm begging fans to just take a breath, take it easy. They are going to be a very good defense. Now, again, there's a lot of work to do between now and, say, kickoff of week 1. And some of that may include additions, but mostly it's going to be about improvement from within, guys continuing to develop. I know no one likes that. It doesn't create headlines, but that is the Packers' MO, and it's how they operate, and it's how they're going to operate in this instance. What do you guys think? I know there's, like I said, probably a ton of opinions out there. Let me know in the comments below what you're thinking about the Packers releasing Jaire Alexander, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide.